Tourism experts are decrying the huge potential loss to the Nigerian tourism sector as a result of insecurity bedeviling some parts of the country. As a major requirement for the tourism industry to thrive, security plays an important role. Unfortunately, insecurity seems to be increasing to the detriment of tourism growth in Nigeria. As the Easter celebration approaches this month of April, we're now being joined by Iyadunni Gbadebo, Director of Sales at Eko Hotels and Suites, to discuss the potential and opportunities in the tourism sector of Nigeria amid insecurity and COVID-19. She'll also be telling us about the creative activities in the pipeline. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. Well, in the past few days, we've been talking about insecurity in the country. And this is almost Easter season, right? And we have other problems too. Hike in fuel prices. Air travel has also become very expensive. And with insecurity, okay, in other parts of the world, the hospitality sector, the tourism sector is waking up. How, as somebody who is involved in that industry, how do you convince people, Nigerians, to have holidays in Nigeria, to enjoy tourism in Nigeria, instead of taking the option of traveling out to places that are safer?
Well, I don't think it requires any convincing, to be honest with you. Your pocket will tell you that this is not the era. This is not the era for you to be converting your hard-earned naira that doesn't have much value into pounds or dollars and travel. So we have done quite a lot to try and promote local tourism, create content for people to come and enjoy themselves and have a semblance of what they get if they were to travel abroad. But I think that people are fast realizing that there's light at the end of the tunnel in every dark situation. COVID may have been whatever it was, but it has forced us to think internally, inwards, and to try and start, doing things that would help people understand that you can do everything that you want to do out there here at a much cheaper and probably much more enjoyable value. So it's not been a hard sell, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
You just made the perfect case for a staycation, quite frankly. Yes, that's really how to put it.
Absolutely.
But how has COVID affected tourism in Nigeria? Because unfortunately, even though the numbers are declining and what have you, it's still an ongoing situation. We're still in a pandemic.
Yes.
Albeit towards the tail end, one hopes. And also insecurity. How has that affected tourism in Nigeria?
Well, I think it has affected tourism greatly. I work in the hospitality industry. I work at Eko Hotels, and the last 2 years has been interesting, to say the least, because we always like to see the positive side of everything. We suffered. I mean, the hotel, Eko Hotel, at one point, you drop a pin, you could hear the sound of it. That was ridiculous. There was times when we weren't, we were putting lights on and running electricity and power, and there was nobody in the rooms. So yeah, I mean, we've all suffered. I think the hotels, the airlines really suffered, and we're still suffering. But yeah, we're hopeful that, we created a lot of interesting things. Like I said, we were forced to think internally, and some interesting things came up. We were creating a lot of staycations. We were trying to promote, art and culture, and they have worked. They have worked, and people came out once it was safe and secure to come out, and they had a good time. And for us, that has opened, a new line of opportunity for people in our industry to start to curate exciting things for people to do here. And yeah, over the last 5 years, we started thinking along the lines even before COVID. And when COVID hit, we were forced to, to work a bit harder at it. And now I think it's the way forward. I think it's the way forward, to be honest.
So what are these exciting offerings that will make me stay back in Nigeria for holidays?
I can only tell you what I'm doing, or what we're doing as a business. Yeah, so Eko Hotel is doing a lot of exciting stuff. So there's over the last 3-4 Christmases, we've made Eko Hotel a destination for people to come in and spend their holidays. We trademarked a product called Tropical Christmas Wonderland. And that's how it started. But every year we do a different theme. So we did, just this last December, we did Candyland Edition. In the dead of COVID, we had done Carnival Edition to sort of bring light to all the darkness that we were all sort of experiencing. And we just had Carnival. We had we were bringing all the events rather than doing them inside. We were doing them outside in the space of the property. And yeah, people were staying in over the 3 days or 5 days. And we had theater, we had comedy, we had massive buffets outside at the poolside. We were creating theme parks, just exciting stuff, and people are enjoying it. It's affordable, it's exciting. So if you have to travel abroad and get the same value, you would be paying an arm and a leg. You would pay for the flights. You would go through all the COVID madness, because I remember 2019 I had gone with the family on holiday, and I did 4 or 5 COVID tests. The day 2 one, the day 5 one, the day 8 one. I mean, that's not a holiday. So if I could save all of that pounds or dollars and stay home and get all of the exciting things that people like us have to offer, then, maybe this will help the economy. Maybe we're heading somewhere.
Okay, your special area is hospitality, but hospitality and tourism, they're linked.
Correct, yes.
And you've talked about what your company is doing to attract people. Easter holiday is here, but from what I see, it's only the rich, the privileged, the elite who go to 5-star hotels. So how about, the people in the hospitality industry providing packages for ordinary people to also enjoy Easter? And then since... I'm
an ordinary person.
And okay, during COVID, there was a reduction in the number of foreigners coming into Nigeria and taking the hotels. Has there been an improvement in terms of foreign visitors coming to Nigeria from what you have observed?
It has started to improve now. I would say in the last 5 months. There's still a lot of uncertainty about where it will go, because, from 2019 up until now, we had the up and down. At one point, we thought COVID was sort of winding down, and then another strain came up, and then there was a shutdown. And so it's been, a bit...
Ding-dong.
Ding-dong, correct. Yeah, so having said that, just to respond to your comment about providing opportunities for people who don't have spending power, because I don't want to say it's poor people or rich people. That's a relative term. In today's Nigeria, even an average, I would consider myself middle class, but I'm a struggling middle class. What used to be luxury, what used to be, affordable is now luxury for even somebody like me. So what are we doing to bridge that gap? I think the responsibility rests on several people, including the government. I know that we're involving everyone, because part of the content that we curate, we're curating, bringing people who don't have opportunity to come and showcase their talent. We're paying them. So for instance, one of the events that we had 2 years ago, we had advertised for children who have talent to come and, show their talent, and so that we can put them on stage and have them on the shows that we curate. And we had about 200, maybe 300 applications. We shortlisted to about 50, and we had these guys on stage, very talented children from Badagry and Ajegunle and all sorts of places. And these kids have talent. We paid them, they came, we invited them and their families at no cost to them to come and enjoy with us. So if the question is how are we doing it, this is how we're getting everybody else involved in it. But there's a role for the government to play. I mean, the private sector can't do it all. It's a lot rests on the government to do. But we're doing our bit in the midst of everything that just seems like it's drawing you down when you're trying to go up. It's insecurity, the cost of the naira, the value of the naira, yeah.
So that leads me to my question. What would you say is the greatest challenge you face as the director of sales for Eko Hotel? And specifically for Easter, which is coming right up, what programs do you have, bunny related, I imagine? What exactly is going to happen in the hotel?
Mr. Bunny.
So we have something called, this year we're doing Hippity Hoppity Easter. It's a 3-day event. that we're inviting. Well, we have families who are booked already. Some are still trying to book to come and spend the holiday here. In there, we have, over the 3 days, we have theater shows. We have, one of them is called the Spectacular Show. Again, it's about kids just showing talent and, creating value and having a good time. We have another theme park we're trying to put up for this one as well. We have the egg hunt. The place is already looking nice and bunny, egg-filled. So yeah, I think that people at least have an option to do it here and have value for their money. And of course, we're big on our food and beverage, so we have a lot of different buffets, breakfast, lunches, and dinners, all different themed. We're doing African buffet, we're doing Mexican buffet, just all sorts of exciting things. And we have a captive audience already. We encourage a lot of other hospitality businesses to do the same, because if all of us have something to offer, then more and more people will consider keeping the money in the country rather than, going out and spending it. But it's about creating the value for whatever it is they're paying for, and making it have a semblance of being better or equal to what they get when they go out of the country.
So when you said the Spectacular Show, I mean, so for some weird reason, the Greatest Show came to my head.
Yes.
It would come.
Yes.
Because it's brilliant.
But
that's the mood board, by the way.
Okay, great.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we love
That's
that
the
movie.
mood board.
Yeah.
So, but real quickly, I'd like to ask, in curating all this great show, you also curate costs.
Yes.
What goes on the back of your mind when you curate costs? I'm not saying necessarily tell me a cost, but what do you consider when you're also curating pricing for this? Because price is really important. I mean,
Yes.
how do you put it in such a way that it doesn't go overboard and it's just right and accurate for the people? That's number one. Number two will be, how do you sort of make this something that can attract the big numbers? Because you see, with all these events in the country, the problem for me that I have is we don't see us attract the big numbers. So I'll tell you, so somebody goes to the Eiffel Towers in France, millions of people visit the Eiffel Towers. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of leg traffic.
Yes.
So how do we create events in Nigeria that can have millions of leg traffic? Mm-hmm. Like millions and millions of people. And the cost will sort of peter out and equate to not really what you get in overseas, but, make a big dent in the hospitality sector. Because the problem is you create events, but you don't have leg traffic.
Mm. Well, I would let me respond to the question about the cost first and how we curate that whole process. So because again we're making it, they're packages that we're creating. So in there you have rooms, accommodation for them to stay. You have meals, breakfast, lunches, and dinners, and these are the elements, the two main elements that we cost in the packages. Everything else is an add-on that makes the package look affordable. So if you look at, for instance, our Easter event, there's a 800,000 package, there's a 950,000 package. Now this is for a family of 4. And a family of, yes, I did. I saw you move, and I thought, hold on a second, let me just put some light into that. Yeah, it's a family of 4, and there you get a room, you get breakfast, lunches, and dinners. You get an all-access tag that gives you access to all of the events that I've mentioned here.
For how many days?
For 3 days. Last year we had done something around 1.3 million. So we have 4 hotels. So in you have different pockets of pricing depending on what your budget can accommodate. The cheapest was something like 600,000 for 5-day holiday for a family of 4. So I mean, if you compare that to traveling, the cost of ticket alone for one person already takes on that whole cost. And here you're paying that amount for a family of 4 to get everything. And this is carefully curated content. This is exciting content. This is opportunities for you to be with other families, meet other families, network with people. So I think in terms of value for money, we make it affordable because we only price you on the accommodation and the feeding element, but we give you everything else that you get in terms of the shows and the concerts and all of that as an add-on. What do you? Your next question was about
Food traffic. Not enough food trafficking.
Yes. Well, that again, we can't do it all. I think we as a business also moved away from waiting for the government to do something for us to say, you know what, we're now where we are post-COVID or pre-COVID. We need to start thinking, you know, if COVID didn't happen, we still had a problem in the economy. You know, we still had other problems that were major challenges for us. So the corporate business, which was our core business, you know, and, you know, the experts coming in from abroad, doing business here, that dwindled down even before COVID. So either way, we were going to have to be forced to think outside the box. So I guess my point is the government has a major role to play in all of this on the grand scheme of things. Because
yes, well, we have just about 2 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. What is that role that you want government to play? Because government officials, the people in the tourism development agency and in similar departments of government will claim that the Nigerian government is investing a lot in tourism and hospitality. Where do you think the missing gap is? And please be specific. Government can do this with private sector, both at state and federal government levels.
Yes. Well, investing a lot is a relative term. WEF says that we're ranked 129 out of 136 competitive to everywhere else in the world in terms of tourism. So I don't know how much they're doing, but I would say that for starters, provide an enabling environment for tourism to flourish. Security is a main point. You know, power is a major element. Water, access to water, something as basic as water. If you imagine that you want to do a theme park, a water park here, how can you even do that when people don't have water to drink? Where will you get water to fuel the park? So everything from oil to water to safety to security are line items for the government to work on. And they have people like us who are major players in the hospitality industry that are already proactive enough to start up things like this that's bringing local tourism and is now going to be bringing international tourism into Lagos. But people would not want to come if the environment doesn't enable such a thing. It's expensive for us to curate these things. I mean, we spend over 200 million naira trying to curate this event. If we had all of these things that I said to you, for instance, if it was safe for people to travel here and come here, and there was power and there was water, then it would not be that expensive for us to do these things. So,
well, thank you very much, Iyadunni, for joining us on the morning show. Well, we all look forward to having great Easter. We are not traveling our way. We'll be here. Staycation as to no cost.